I do remember there was a lot of dry humping.
There was a lot of dry humping.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of the Quarantine Sessions, where I chat to people a lot cooler than myself in the wonderful land of lockdown. Now, my guests this week are a band who defy genre classification, combining punk, grime, metal, and a plethora of other genres to make a sound all of their own. In their all too short time as a band, they carved out a devoted cult following, and now they're back to celebrate the release of their seminal debut album. It is my pleasure to introduce Lehman, Anthony, and Daniel of arguably the most handsome band performing, Castrovalva.
No.
You don't get those intros from Kerrang, I'll tell you that much for free.
That is good. Solid intro.
Anyway, how are you guys doing in these just bizarre times that we live in?
Very well. Yeah, as well as can be expected, I think. Yeah.
Awesome.
Feeling good. Always good. Happy.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, actually.
You know what? I've liked this peace and quiet. I felt good. I've just got a young son. I've been happy at home.
Oh, congrats.
Thanks, man. I've loved it, to be honest.
Yeah,
nice
awesome.
Change of pace.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's probably the best time because you've got unlimited time to, make the most of those precious years.
Yeah.
Awesome. And obviously, you guys comprise the band that was Castrovalva, and you've been away from the limelight for a little while now. So for the few that may have missed you the first time around, in your own words, could you just quickly introduce who Castrovalva were or are potentially?
Go on, who's taking it?
Take that one.
You go.
Okay, so I guess the only way we can kind of describe it, Castrovalva started just as three friends that just wanted to make music that we liked, which when you kind of come down to it, we were all fans of music. Sounds kind of a bit of a cliche that way, but those guys were super into the grime stuff, like me, and we all kind of grew up on sort of the Blood Brothers, the Locust 3-1G, sort of the zanier side of things. We all had a mutual love of bands like Glassjaw. So it was just kind of our way of kind of creating music that we wanted to do without kind of trying to pigeonhole ourselves. It was kind of the only rule that we had as a band when we started out were just pretty much that there were no rules. If Lehman brought an idea to the table, no one would say no to it. We'd try it out. And then once we'd tried it, if it got vetoed, it got vetoed if we didn't like it. But it was kind of the one thing that we always had as a band, that every idea was tried. So yeah, that was us. That's how we started out. And then those beautiful melodies that you... that's what it became.
Those smooth jams.
I don't think anything got vetoed, if I'm honest.
It was all good, wasn't it?
I mean, there was a couple of things that I physically couldn't play. I think there was...
yeah, apart from
that's the limit.
I still remember that bit. I've got it saved in here.
Man, you keep that. I couldn't do it. But human limitations were the only thing that stopped this.
As should always be the way. But yeah, I mean, I definitely can see that, especially with We Are a Unit, which we'll talk about in a bit. That whole sort of, jambalaya of sounds, to use a phrase that I've never used before and probably never will again. You've got all of those influences coming together, and I almost think the Valva should be its own genre in of itself, because it just doesn't fit anywhere else. Nor should it really. But obviously, we're all friends here, and one of the questions I'd like to ask anyone that I want to get to know that a little bit better is, if you're a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say would best represent each of you?
Okay.
I'm definitely a steak and cheese.
Can't argue with that.
Steak and cheese lately. It's all about steak and cheese. So
big fan.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm the big man, steak and cheese.
Can dig it.
Yeah. I like a good chicken club sandwich, with some extra bread in there, a bit of cheese and bacon. I like all that. But for a sandwich, that's where I go. I don't really...
Can't go wrong.
I don't stray from the classics with a sandwich. I just hit them hard, make them well. That's me.
That's it.
Me, all right. Okay, I'm going to go for a nice solid grilled cheese, but with a little bit of hot sauce in there as well. A little bit of spice, but you only discover the spice once you get down to the middle. That's me.
A pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
What is your hot sauce of choice? Which is an equally important question.
Wow, so I'm a bit of a hot sauce guy at the moment. My go-to is Valentina Black Label. Don't know if you know that one.
No, I've never heard of that one.
Check it out. It'll become your new table sauce.
I can dig it.
I remember you let me try a bit of that once. It was nice. Not that much. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. Is this the most you've ever talked about sandwiches and hot sauce in any interview you've ever done?
No.
I think
not in life.
We talked about sandwiches more than once.
Oh man, I feel inferior all of a sudden. I have to do better. Let's talk about real things then, which is obviously your debut album, We Are a Unit, is 10 years old this year. What does this album mean to you guys after all these years?
I mean, for me, when I still go back and when I listen to it, it takes me straight back to recording it. Straight back to that time where it just happened. It was just like, it was all like pure passion. We just did it. It takes me straight back there. Like I still listen now, it puts a massive smile on my face, man. It's just like, we had a few ideas for a few songs. We had a couple of songs done already and we just went in and we were like, let's just go let's have fun. And we just went in there, weird hours, stayed up late, walk out of the studio at like 6 a.m, all like grey ghouls. But it was just the most fun I've ever had recording in my whole life. It was just so much fun because we didn't really think about it. We just went in, ate loads of KFC, and just like someone would get an idea for a part of a song. We just record that part and then just like vibe off that bit and go, okay, yeah, oh yeah, well, what comes next? Oh yeah, that bit. Oh, and suddenly there'd be a song.
Amazing.
It was so much fun.
It was only last week, wasn't it? And that I actually sent you the original recording of the intro of the album.
Yeah, the little demo thing.
Yeah, the dodgiest guitar. I think I was up at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and all you could hear was these horrible worn out strings, and I was like, and I was like, yeah, man, we need this. This has got to be. This is it. This is the one. We open it with this this riff, and then as soon as it just burst, and you hear that, I was like, wow. As soon as we heard that was it. I was like, this album is going to just knock off the whole lead thing. And I don't know, it's such an underrated album. And I remember when Paul Marshall, he heard Pump Pump. And for Paul Marshall to love Pump Pump, and he was very judgmental with local bands, he came up to me and he was like, I cannot believe you fucking wrote that track. That is probably the best track I've heard ever. And I was like, all right. And that was from Paul Marshall. And I was like, fuck yeah, I love that.
Ring endorsement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. He was respected, you know what I mean, to me, because he had that band with Lee Vincent. What were they called?
Concentration Champ.
Yeah, Concentration Champ.
That was
noisy, and I loved it. So it was good to hear that from Paul. You know what I mean? That he loved Pump Pump and Lee Vince and everybody. And for me, that's when I knew we were on something. Keep it nice. Keep it just banging, fast tempo.
Yeah.
Keep going. Just don't light up. And we just lit the whole scene up.
And it was quite an individual recording process, wasn't it? Like, I kind of feel like Ross, the guy that recorded us, he must have fucking hated us because we'd record things, get halfway through, and just like no, we've decided like let's not do that. Let's do it this way. And I mean, even some of those tunes that ended up on that album actually came out of jam sessions from when we were just messing around with the recording. It was an individual process. I've never any band and any sort of thing that I've done after that has never been quite as unique as that, I think. I think. To go back to what Ant first said, it just puts a smile on my face whenever I listen to that album. Anyway,
it's one of those real lightning in a bottle moments. Then,
yeah.
And also completely fueled by KFC, as all good bodies of work are.
Yes,
Awesome.
Yeah, we like the KFC.
Big fan. So obviously this album, as great as it is, it never saw a vinyl release back in the day, but hopefully things are changing in the year 2020. You've launched a Kickstarter to help get the vinyl pressing out to the public. But I just wanted you guys to just spill the beans on some of the little exclusives that you can get alongside the vinyl if people chip in a bit of money.
Go on, Lee.
Yeah, I think this one belongs to Lehman, because I think it's important to put out that the majority of the really, really cool shit coming out of this is down to that man's creative mind. So I think it's only fair that Lee takes it.
I have been very creative when it came to this project. I invested probably, I'm not going to say the price I've invested, but I've literally put 25 to 30% of my own money into the project, and I made sure that I wanted people to have a great package. And the whole point, when I bought a record only, I think it was a month ago, and I paid $27.99, and I got a black record, like just a normal standard black vinyl, and I was absolutely pissed that I just got this single sleeve black vinyl. I was just like, for $27.99, I cannot believe that. So I was like, if we ever release it, because we were going to release this record, we were like, it's 10 years, we've got to release it on vinyl. So I was like, I'm going to make sure there's a 50-page book in there. So I did all my quotes, got all my contacts that I used to deal with when I did graphics, and they all come together and they gave me great quotes. So I was like, yeah, it's going to come with a 50-page book of all of our We're a Unit era, like all promo shots that I actually forgot that we had, because we were just laughing about them the other day, wasn't we? We were like, oh my God, look at that picture. Mind you, I look like a balloon in most of them, but it's great. Do you know what I mean? It's great. It's good to look back on. I love all the memories, and just, you know. So what I did was I did £100 package. That went, when did that go? I think that sold out in like 3 hours, like £100.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the big packages went within an hour or two, I think.
Yeah, because people were saying like, people ain't going to pay £100. I was like, I'm making sure this is a great package deal. So I made sure there was the donut vinyl picture disc, which I can't, let me see if I've got one. I can't find it. But yeah, I did a little donut picture disc. Originally, I wanted everybody to have a donut picture disc, but it was just way out of the budget. I had to think realistically. And so I just made 10 copies of that little donut. Also, the first ever track I did with Ant and Dan, which was Bellhausen, which I loved, and I still to this day I listen to it again, and it still sounds fresh. I was like, this is great. It's nice and fresh just to listen to.
That's a good bit of background about that tune, actually. So that was on our. So obviously, Castrovalva started as a 2-piece before Lehman officially joined the band, and the first EP that we put out, Lehman did the artwork for it.
Okay.
And that's kind of how Lehman came quite close to Castrovalva. And that song, Bellhausen, was technically the first song that Lehman ever did lyrics on. But it almost, do you remember, it almost never saw the light of day, because I fucking hated that song. we almost didn't put it on the EP. Like, me and Ant were discussing, just like I say, we just don't put it on there. Like, Lehman did the lyrics for it, and then sort of, I've been messing around with this, done some lyrics to this song. Yeah, put that on the EP. It's brilliant. So it almost just became a song that never happened for the instrumental time of Castrovalva. So Lehman, and that was kind of the pivotal moment, really, wasn't it? Where we were discussing, and it was kind of, shit, we actually sound a hell of a lot better with vocals. Let's maybe to come in and do this.
It was weird for me as well, just to be a singer, because I was so used to being a front man but playing guitar at the same time. So actually just holding a mic and having other people play, their instruments, it was very weird for me, because I used to love to, swing my guitar around and everything. So it was weird for me to get used to okay, so what do? Do I start swinging the mic, or do I start humping the mic stand? Like, how do I go about this whole, you know what I mean? So
I love the way that those were your two options.
They're the only two.
I used to dry hump a lot of people at the shows.
I do remember there was a lot of dry humping.
There was a lot of dry humping. Just get into a groove, and Castrovalva was all about, like, the bass was just all groove, and I was just like,
I like that. There was that there, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just a grind, a nice grind. I loved it.
But I'm definitely going to take out "I like dry humping" and just put it right at the start of this video, so that'll be the first thing people see.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Castrovalva. Yeah, I mean, I caught you guys near the end of your run back in sort of end of 2013, and it's some of the most intense live shows I think I've ever seen. It was just absolute madness, both from sort of like a visual, sort of with the lighting, but also obviously from your guys' presence on stage. So do you think, Lehman, you became more sort of comfortable sort of later on to just literally do whatever your mind thought up at the moment?
Pretty much. I mean, I know most people. I remember when I used to talk to Tom from Pulled Apart by Horses about this, he always used to get really ill, like from nerves. He used to throw up before a show and everything. But for me, it's like, I never really got nervous, but it just all became a blank. And then suddenly the show was gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When I see footage of us live, I do not remember anything that's happening, because the amount of times that people have said, yeah, you threw this glass of water at somebody, or, well, no, I threw it at the drum kit once.
Yeah, it was usually at me, yeah.
Yeah. Or I've done this. I mean, people, I actually read a review the other day. It was very funny about how myself, I was I don't think I can say the C word, but
yeah, you can.
Yeah, well, he was just saying he's a proper cunt, but fuck me, he can pull off he can do the show. And I was like, fuck yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is great. Like, Castrovalva just blew my fucking mind. The singer's a cunt, but fuck, it's great. So I was like, sweet. I didn't mean to be a cunt. I just don't know. You just get into a zone. You just get into a zone, and that's it.
When I'm somewhere like that, the energy, like, it just put you somewhere. You didn't think about what you were doing. You just went there.
Yeah.
In the moment.
That's what I mean. And whatever I'm saying on stage, I don't know. I mean, the amount of times the lads have said, you shouldn't have said that on stage. I'm just like, I'm in the zone. Do you know what I mean? Just living life. I used to love it, and I have missed it, but, you know, it's just one of them things.
Well, speaking of that, I know that in sort of the lead up of announcing the repress of the album, that you have been teasing sort of a mini tour, or some sort of shows once, you know, things get back to normal, or some sort of normal. Obviously, it's super hard to plan with everything the way it is, but are there any more details on where you might be playing, or what these shows might look like?
We did plan it for this year, but obviously with everything that's happening,
I think
respect just not planned anything for now. So, you know,
I think it's probably going to be one of those things where the best we can do is to sort of say that I think it will happen. However, post Corona, I mean, some of my close friends that run shows and run venues and things like that, I don't even think they know when and what sort of live music's going to look like sort of going forward. So I think the best we can kind of say is just that it will happen.
Very cool.
Just as, when, where. I don't even think we can sort of answer those questions at the moment. So
it's definitely going to happen, because I never in my life stage dived into the crowd. Obviously, I couldn't at the time, because
I was going to say
there'll be a massive wave, and I'll be like, shit, I'm on the floor. But yes, it's gonna happen for this reason. I remember seeing Ant, like, with the crowd, like, going around. I was like, fuck, I wish I could do that. So it's happening.
I was going to say, mate, even I managed to do it a few times.
It's happening for me. I'm finally going to get the stage dive.
So yeah, I think if anything, we're going to do this for Lehman. We're going to play these stuff for him and his stage diving with this. But this isn't about you. It's not about the fans. It's about us.
I mean, if we get the scraps that we just get the pleasure of seeing you stage dive, then I mean, I will take it. We'll take it. And I suppose this is probably an even more difficult question to ask because it's looking further into the future. But do you see this just being a one-off thing, or do you see potentially new music or other shows or whatever happening in future?
We have music in the archives. There's another album's worth there. I was listening to it the other day of just demos, and there is an album's worth. It's just everybody's got kids. You know, we're all family people now. It's just so hard to get together. Also, I'm in Birmingham back, so until all this blows over, then I'm not sure. But I have archives for days of
content needs to be looked at, but yeah.
I think the want's definitely there. It's just the logistics, I think.
Yeah,
of course. Well, selfishly, I hope you catch the bug and there's a whole new album and all that good stuff, because the world needs a bit more Valva.
What you were saying there when you were, I was going to say, telling us that you want us to catch the bug. It's the wrong time to say shit like that.
Oh God, what have I done? Scrap that from the record.
Coronavirus too.
Oh no, what have I done? Scrap that from the record. We're good. But anyway, this is another question that is that I like to ask people, because it gets to know it helps me get to know you guys a bit better. And that is, here at UDS, we don't just talk about music, we talk about the breadth of pop culture. So we talk about movies, video games, comic books, whatever's interesting, we'll have a chat about it. So with that in mind, if you could have any Castrovalva song featured in anything at all, whether it be a movie, TV show, video game, anything, what would it be?
Oof.
That is a question.
Oh God, the scope there, that's amazing. What are you going to say, Dan?
I was going to wait to see what you said. And then...
I mean, I'd like it everywhere. A lot of good things.
What about the next series of Attack on Titan?
Oh man, best thing in the world.
That's all you talk about at the moment.
Greatest thing ever done. It's the greatest TV show, anything written. It's the best thing in the world. Got to read it.
You've got 20 minutes. We can fill it with Ant talking about this for the next time.
I do need to watch Attack on Titan. It's been on my list for about 7 years or whenever it's been about.
Gotta watch it. Season 1 is good, but slow. So it's good though. Season 2, bit of character building. Season 3, bam, good. Then you got to read the manga. You got to catch up, because the manga's where it goes crazy. I read a chapter yesterday. I don't know what was going on. I started sweating. It's amazing. Got to read it. It's the greatest thing that has ever been created by men, or people, the humankind. It's the greatest thing.
So it's up there with space flight, penicillin,
higher.
The internal combustion engine, and then above all of them, like on a mountain above them, the anime Attack on Titan.
That's it. You got it.
Cool. That is a ringing endorsement. I really need to check it out. That's my Sunday afternoon sorted.
Yeah, get Valve on Attack on Titan. Get Valve on something with David Lynch. That'd be ace.
Yeah, that would be amazing. What about you guys?
I don't know. There's nothing that really I can think of where I could hear Valva in the background.
It's its own thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird. Because
I think that's been the issue with us our entire kind of career through that band.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of swearing, a lot of cunts. I don't know how many times I say cunt on the album, but I can't think of anything. I mean, we did our own little horror movie for the second album for one of our songs, but no, I can't think of anything. It's a weird, because all the genres are everywhere, and plus I've had so many people listen to Castrovalva that they're like, hold on, you were in this section and you just went to this section, like this doesn't make sense. And I'm like, it's not meant to, it's good. So just let it roll, just let it go. Flow.
To throw it back at you, if you were going to put a Castrovalva song to any form of medium, what would you choose it to be on?
I think a good. You've mentioned that you've done, a short one for. I think it was Blood of an Englishman was the song you did,
right,
the music horror. But I think some sort of psychedelic, trippy horror thing. I think David Lynch or something like that, where maybe there's sort of like a sort of a complete sort of psychotic thing or whatever like that, where someone's freaking out, or I don't know, maybe even like you get sort of these movies where someone's absolutely like tripping out in a club or something like that. I think sort of having that sort of frenetic thing where it is very bombastic, I think that would reflect that quite well. That or a wrestling theme. I think something like that would be ace as well.
That would be fun.
Zombie wrestling, like peeling off their skin and body slamming.
There you go. I can't think of anything better than that, or Attack on Titan. One of those two, and it's a winner. You've got the album coming out hopefully very, very soon, and then some shows sort of, later down the line after that. But as the best you can, what does the rest of 2020 have in store for you guys personally?
Make sure we make this funding, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so close now, isn't it? It's only about
95%. Yeah, it's 95%. I'm very... Because I was like, I'll put it on 60 days. No, I'll put it on 30. And we just got like the biggest like support from everybody.
Amazing.
And it was just boomed. And I was like, oh, right. I woke up this morning, it was like 95%. I was like, Jesus, like we're nearly there. But yeah, I mean, I'll let the other guys handle it. But for me, it's just to make sure everybody just gets that album. I mean, I've had a few guys that have contacted me, like when they were kids, like 10 years ago, they were like 16, 17. They were like, this album was my life. And they've bought like the £100 package with everything. And I was just like, that's just amazing to hear. Yeah. So I just want them to get this massive, bit of life that they put their emotions in, I guess, because, it's great. It was a great feeling to know that people want this album on wax. So I'm happy.
They certainly do.
Finally come full circle with that record. 2020 is finally going to be like complete. I mean, it's going to be so good, man.
There's going to be vinyl and there's going to be stage diving.
Yes.
You might be able to walk again.
Yeah, fuck these guys.
What have you done?
I don't even know, man. I woke up like last week and my knee was just a million times bigger than normal. I had to go to like hospital. They prodded me with some needles, took some blood. I don't know. My knee went crazy. It's getting better. I'm not dying.
Well, that's positive.
I'm not dying. I'm all right.
Swollen. It's still pretty big, but
can we see?
Nah.
No, that's not.
Well, all I can say is get well soon. And just quickly on the fundraiser, do I remember correctly that if you beat the target, the rest of the money is going to go to charity as well?
Yeah, Black Minds Matter. We're sticking all the money over to them guys.
Amazing.
So hopefully people get some more, get the money out, throw it in. It's all good,
Cool. Everyone wins.
So it's a win-win. Do you know what I mean? And I just want to we wanted to make sure that people knew that we just wanted everybody to get the record, but also just help a charity that we feel strongly about. Do you know what I mean? Because we've all had these kind of similar issues.
We're not here to make money with it, we don't.
No.
Yeah. I think the only thing we kind of cared about was the creative process and the package. Make sure people got, what they wanted, which was the record out of this. And it was, especially at the moment as well, where there's quite a lot of our friends and probably people that love that album that are worrying about money, furloughed, potentially might not have jobs, things like that. So we kind of wanted to make sure that we were quite upfront about anything that we made after the actual sort of budget for this was going to be going to a good place.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. And plus, it's a lot of money to invest on something when you don't know if people still like you. Do you know what I mean? We spoke about it, like to release it, and then obviously with all this happening and plus all the protests, we were like, you know what, let's make sure we do some good as well. So let's make sure this fundraiser is just for the record, everybody can get it, but also the profits, they just go to the charity of our choice, and we don't make any. Like I said, I've invested my own money into it as well, just to make sure, because I didn't want the target to be so high. Because then it's like, oh, you're asking for £7,000, right? Let's forget about that. We just made it simple. We only need this amount. If we go over that target, the whole of the profit just goes to the charity. So, do you know what I mean?
Very cool.
Was pressing. So yeah,
amazing stuff. Yeah, I really can't wait for it to come out. So it's hopefully going to save 2020 for a lot of people, because we need some good news.
You just need good records. You need a nice looking vinyl in your collection. You know what I mean?
100%.
$7.99 plain black. You don't need that.
The last question we always end our interviews with is, we are UDS, or Upside Down Shark. Don't ask me why we're Upside Down Shark. It's just a name that we thought up, and we're in way too deep to change it now. But with that in mind, Castrovalva, what would be your individual favorite sharks? And they could be real, they could be fictional, something from a movie or something from nature. But what would be your favorite shark?
My favorite shark, there's in the cartoon Street Sharks.
I fucking know you were going to go there. That's
one of them. I can't remember his name. The one that was on
Is
the
it the one who had the rollerblades?
Yeah, he's my favorite shark, hands down. The one on the rollerblades.
Hang on, I'll see if I can find the name of it.
Yeah, he was. I believe he was a tiger shark, and I hate the fact I remember that.
Be proud.
Rollerblades.
The one called Sharky and George, wasn't that?
There was the pink one.
Yeah, that was the Crime Busters of the Sea.
Yeah. Pink shark.
Crime Busters of the Sea. I do have a shark tattoo. I don't know which one it is. There you go.
That's my favorite shark.
Hammerhead. There you go.
I'm still trying to find the name. Is it Ripster? I think that's the name of the shark that had the roller skates in. We're going to go with that. That's the one. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the toys now. There's something for 200 quid. So if you got any of the toys, then you're in money.
Wow.
But anyway, I think we've covered all of the subjects on Earth. We covered your vinyl release. We've covered sandwiches, anime, sharks. I think we're about done. So all that's left to say is thank you so much, guys, for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Awesome. Well, and for anyone watching at home, make sure to secure your copy of We Are a Unit on Kickstarter. We'll put a link to everything you need to know in the description below. Hit subscribe and all that other nonsense that all the other YouTubers say, and we will catch you next time.